Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Social Shifters podcast. I am joined by Mohamed, the CEO and co-founder of Cure Bionics, and the winner of our special category award, the Global Refugee Challenge 2023, proudly supported by Amazon. And yeah, Mohamed, welcome. How are you doing?
Hey, thank you. First, thank you for the invitation and thank you for the challenge. It was, I guess, some good news for us, for the team, for the end of the year and for a good start for 2024. So yeah,
Amazing. And what was it like? I guess when you found out that you were a winner, how did you react? What did you and the team do?
yeah. So developing like a hardware product in a non-developed country is a big challenge. So yeah, it was a very good news for us. We've been working so hard on a lot of aspects of the product, try to launch the new product. So that was some happy and exciting news for everyone. So yeah, thank you again for that.
Oh, that's amazing. So, like you kind of touched on like part of like your where it's difficult and maybe in where you're based and reside in the part of the world. I guess so can you like take us back, say like I don't know if you're into superheroes, are you a superhero fan? Are you into like comics, like Marvel movies or DC movies?
So yeah, I guess all of our like childhood, everyone was kind of influenced and inspired by that, like this superhero like world and by these superheroes, and we try to be like somehow superhumans by our ways of doing things. So I guess every entrepreneur or everyone is was trying or is thriving every day to do things better is a superhero or superhuman, and I guess it was part of our startup mindset, which is like combining this technology like with the human capabilities to extend it to another level and to allow people to revolutionize their mobility. So I guess that was somehow inspired by this word of superhumans or superheroes.
Oh, I love that. And that was why the reason why I framed up that question is like if you're into superheroes, because every superhero is an origin story. So, for like Spider-Man, he got bitten by the radioactive spider and he got his powers. So I just wanted to know like what's your origin story? How did Mohammed become Mohammed and the entrepreneur you are today?
Okay, so to be honest, especially when it comes to what I'm developing today, or the main project I'm working on, as I'm working on like a couple of other projects, but my main project is Cure Bionics, and I was never, I guess, meant or thought of being or starting this entrepreneurship journey at all. And we are, as you know, Cure Bionics is working on bionic prosthetics for people with limb differences. So I had no one in the family or in my surrounding who is having a limb difference. So everything started in a funny way during a student challenge at my university, at my engineering university. So we were like supposed to create some life-changing like ideas. And our idea was creating a marketplace for medical devices because people were, let's say, having troubles to find the best medical device at the best price with the best quality. Sometimes it's missing product, so it's like a mess. So when we started thinking of what categories of products or what products to include, one of the team members said, "Yeah, we can include prosthetics." He said, My cousin was born without her two upper limbs. She was like a double upper limb amputee or limb difference person, and her age was at that time 13, I guess, or 14 years old. And he said her parents are waiting till she'll be 20. I said, why? He said, because like it's very expensive. It's more like 20 or 30,000 US dollars. She's outgrowing, she will be outgrowing her prosthetic if she's gonna take it at this age. So they're waiting to the age of 20 because they cannot afford to buy a new one every 2 years. Plus, it's not always available in the non-developed countries, so you should wait. Depends like on the country, but for a couple of months. So it was kind of the first shocking, let's say, personal experience from someone from my surrounding. And we said, why are we going to develop a platform to include products that are not, or some of them are not available, and people are, let's say, fighting for it? So we said, yeah, we are a couple of engineers. Let's work on the device itself. Let's start with this prosthetic. And by digging deep into this field, we found that it's really a big trouble for people. It's really a problem, like the availability, the pricing, the size, which is not dynamic for people, the features, a lot of other aspects. So yeah, that's how everything started, I guess. I was not meant to be working on that project, and then it turned to be one of my live missions, and I'm happy doing this every day.
That that's amazing. And I think like it's an incredible story there as a team of engineers. So is that how you met your team? Is that through like university? Is it the same, some of the same people that work with yourself?
Actually, that was the first, let's say, team experience, and that was the first lesson as a startup, let's say, founder. It was, let's say, we had some disagreement in the near future, and we didn't continue working together. I was the only person who kept working on that project because I have like this mindset of, that the positive revenge of when things are not going well, I will be doing things more and more because I want to make it work and to show people that I can do it. So it started from the ego perspective to turn to more humanitarian and more, let's say, more practical, let's say, aspect. So at first, challenge because things didn't go well with the first, let's say, team or friends. Now, but yeah, it was one of the lessons. Yeah, how to manage people, how to manage the team, how to make things clear since day one, how to make things written. Not taking too much consideration on. Yeah, we'll do that together. Count on me, etc. So yeah, I started getting some learnings from everyday's, let's say, experience or tasks at Cure Bionics, and that was the first lesson.
Oh, I love that. That sounds powerful. And I guess every entrepreneur kind of goes through that journey of like how you meet your team, the dynamics of that team, which strengths, who works with who, who's handling what. So yeah, it's really, really interesting. So can you talk about like the impact like of why Cure Bionics is needed? Because you spoke about some of it locally in yourself. And I guess like in a broader context, the importance of the issue that you're trying to solve. And I noticed you used a phrase called limb different. And I guess like
Yeah, yeah, we call limb difference for people who were born, because when you say an amputee, it's someone who lost it
yes.
when after being born, so it's an accident. But a limb difference, people can be born with it, so it's like some congenital, or let's say something that was done before they were born. So yeah, that's the difference for the word.
Yeah, no, that's really great. And I think that's it's great to know the language, the proper terms to use.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, of course. That was another lesson for us. So sometimes we deal with people that are kind of traumatized or having some emotional, let's say, obstacles and everything. So you need to care or to be careful of every word you say, to talk about, to have the right language, and because the human connection or the emotional connection is very crucial on what we are doing. We are not just selling some shaving like tools and everything. We are selling people a replacement, or a pseudo replacement of their human limb. So you should like prepare the right infrastructure or the right emotional infrastructure for that, so they can overcome that trauma, or let's say connect with you and believe in you. Because I believe that till that day, I say there's no the right, let's say, disability is more into the technology more than in people, because in the future, I believe that technology will be much more advanced and will reduce the gap to get to a human hand or a human limb, or let's say other technologies. Today, yeah, we are good in tech, we are doing great things, but if we don't connect emotionally with our patients or customers or friends, as we call them, they cannot, let's say, be tolerant to your technology gaps that are very normal. But when they connect with you and they believe in what you are doing, they will be just happy helping you or co-designing or co-creating the future of that technology. So yeah, that's how we see it then. Yeah.
No, it's been amazing. And I love how you've highlighted a lot of the human side to it. I think sometimes, like you said, it's not just a product business that you're shipping off. You're dealing with a person who's got their own emotion and way makeup, and the empathy and the sympathy required in that. So, and I love that the emotional intelligence to the tech and engineering that you and the team are doing a brilliant job with. So, like, I think you've spoken about some of the issues, obviously the costs of some of the prosthetics and accessibility to some of these prosthetics that people needed. Talk us through, please, about some of the impact that Cure Bionics is having so far, in terms of helping these people in need.
Okay. Okay. So just to summarize maybe another time, what are the problems so we can get to what can be the impact from different perspectives. So as I explained maybe in the beginning, the non-availability of these devices, we're not talking about the cost till now. So it's just the availability. It's not available most of the time, especially when you go through the government side to have some coverage from the government, insurance and everything. So it's not available and you should wait for a couple of months or a couple of years sometimes. That's the first thing. Second thing is the cost. So the cheapest one, I guess, in our country is around 15 or I guess 12 to 15,000 US dollars, which is opening and closing. It's not bad as opening and closing, but I'm saying it's like the minimum or the basics, most basic version. So it's very, very expensive. The other thing is the prosthetic is composed of two things, the hand and the socket part, where the residual limb or the limb that is left is included. That part is with the traditional technology is static. So the size cannot be adjusted. So imagine you're growing or not even growing, you have the same trouser or the same t-shirt, but when you gain some weight, you will not be able to wear it well or to fit it in your body. And when will not be a good fitting. So if you lose weight in a prosthetic, the sensors will not touch your skin, so it will not be able to control the device. If you gain some weight, you cannot even get your limb inside that part. So this thing make parents not being able to buy prosthetics for their children till they stop growing or their morphology is stable, which is around the 20s. So if you are born or get an accident before the 20s, either your parents are a bit rich or your government is very, let's say, competent and you can provide it and you can renew it every 2 or 3 years, or you'll be waiting for a lot of time. And having or growing most of the time in non-developed countries with such difference or with such disability will deprive you from a lot of opportunities, will affect your personality, will affect your surrounding, will affect your self-confidence. So it's not just a physical disability. We're talking about some mental issues, some, let's say, emotional damage from the surrounding, bullying and everything. Another aspect is the heavy weight. So it's kind of a lot of things. So what we said at Cure Bionics, technology is there. Okay, we are engineers, we can do a lot of tech, but the idea is, what about taking what's not going well in multiple technologies in prosthetics and try to solve them and to offer a product that is at the same time performant, that is compliant to the quality, let's say, requirement, because there is another thing happening when you talk about a product that is made in an African country or in an Arab country or a third world country. You talk about a low quality, like let's say the idea we have about Chinese product. At the same time, like Apple is producing their product in China, but the perception we have about these products. So we said, let's work on the requirements, European requirements or compliance, and said, yeah, it's a performant, it's compliant to the quality norms, and it's affordable compared to what's in the market. So let's say half or third of the price of the cheapest one. And let's start solving the problem. So the weight, let's use some 3D printing to get or to lose some weight. Let's make it more customizable. So 3D printing and 3D scanning solved the problem. Let's make the control more intuitive and everything. So we worked more on the algorithm part. We said, what about the size part? We said, in the end of the day, we can do some adjustability system like the belt. So I talked about the trouser. When you lose weight, you have a belt, so you can adjust the size and you can still enjoy your trouser. So that's kind of a mechanical system that do the same functionality. So people can just wake up in the morning, wear their prosthetic, adjust the size as they need it, and start their morning. At the same time, using 3D printing will reduce the cost of the renewal of the product or the part that is not fitting anymore. So during the let's say the couple last of years, we had a lot of R&D. We had a lot of good results, some let's say disappointment, some failures. We got a lot of trials. We gave people some products, and then we started learning how to do things properly, because there's something that I didn't say. That was my first experience directly after graduation. So I didn't work elsewhere. I didn't know what to do, how to do things. I didn't know how to manage people, how to manage money, from where to buy supplies. So it was a mess for me. And also this compliance part about the quality, the ISO thing, the CE, let's say European conformity and compliance thing. So that was a lot of learning, but it was a good learning because we are, I guess, I believe so, and all the teams see it very well. We are a very structured and sustainable startup that is working properly, let's say, and that is building a product properly. So the last year was a hard decision for us to stop talking to customers or to providing prosthetics and to focus on certifying our product. We said, let's stop giving some, let's say, products that are just good for cameras, products that are very amazing cliche that you can show in interviews and maybe, let's say, podcast and everything. But in the end of the day, when people go home, they will say, that is not the product I was expecting. That's not the good product. It's going to fail. The battery is not good. The motor are not very good. That's not very high quality. And this step or this decision made us make a lot of technical changes and administrative changes. So when you acquire or when you accept to go through this quality compliance process, it's a lot of change, a lot of expenses, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of time wasted, because you need to make sure every screw you are using is quality compliant. Every let's say supplier you're having has the quality themselves. So yeah, it was a mess. But during this process, we had a lot of trials and everything. And I guess the way they saw the product and the way they tested it and the way they co-design it made them feel a lot of happiness and a lot of satisfaction even before the launch of this new product. They felt that it's a product they can trust. It's a product that let's say looks like them, because we've been asking them about the smallest detail. Where do you want us to put the button? We ask them because we are not, there is one learning I got, I guess, from some podcast I listen. They say, you are not your user, okay? You cannot decide instead of your user. You should ask them in the end of the day, So we said, where do you want us to putting the button here? But we said, in the winter, people will get things with, it's here. They will be searching for the button, so it should be close to their hand, okay? Like turning the wrist, so the hand is turning. We were putting a button, okay? So you have to click and turn. In the end of the day, they told us, or we thought, if someone is having a double limb amputation or a double limb difference, how they can click. So let's put it just by putting some pressure on the hand, it will turn, You just take it and turn it. Okay, so these ideas or this development, let's say parts, let's say the Lego development process it's their products, their technology, to finalize the final steps and to launch soon, I guess, in March, the new product. So yeah, I took too much time answering the question because
No,
it's
that sounds.
a lot of process happening in the behind the scene part.
See your passion, your face is lit up, and it's great to see. And I guess how long have you how long has Cure Bionics been going, and where are you guys based?
Okay, so we are based in Sousse, which is a city in Tunisia. It's like we are in a technopole, or let's say an innovation city. We've been working for, I guess, for 4 years, including the two COVID year, let's say, gap. We've been doing hardware, so it was a mess for us. You know, all the supply chain was disturbed internationally. You cannot just get, I don't know, the quantity you need. You should wait till testing, and then once you finish testing, you're happy with your solution that you're developing for 3 4 months. You go buy, there is no like stock. You have to wait for, I don't know, 12 months, but you cannot wait. You have to change the solution. So that happened for us like a couple of times. So what happened during the COVID and after the COVID was kind of affecting us, even as a small startup with a very small quantity of production, like compared to the big like tech corporates. So yeah, I guess the 4 years of R&D and I guess developing this hardware medical product
Yeah.
was a surprise for me. I didn't expect things to be this hard, especially, you know, this gap between a product and a prototype that is working very well. You know, you have a good, it can be an amazing 100% functional prototype in the office, but scaling that to a sustainable, reliable, and good product, there is a huge gap. You know, you cannot like imagine how messy is the process like in between. So yeah, that was a surprising like scenario for us. We did a lot of mistakes, to be honest. We did a lot of bad decisions, but we learned a lot, and I guess today we are in the right on the right track doing that.
So yeah, out of all of the challenges you face, what's been your biggest challenge, and what have you learned from it?
I guess one of the biggest challenges was the talent, the talent part. You know, the talent acquisition, the talent, let's say, to retain the talent, how to manage people, and how to be kind of also independent from people. You know, you should, as an entrepreneur, learn how to embed a mechanism or a process that is independent from people, even from myself. I said this company or this startup will succeed the day they will not need me personally as a founder or as a CEO. They can do it with any other person who can manage the team or another CEO. It's not just Mohamed or X or Y or Z. So it's just about creating a process that is sustainable, that is not self-centered, that is really, let's say, centralized and decentralized at the same time. So data is centralized, but also decentralized. Everything is protected. People are having, let's say, clear career options or plans. I learned also how to value more the talent, the
Yes.
talent part. You know, sometimes in the beginning, I say in my first, let's say, days of this experience, I was controlled or guided by my ego, and I guess that's the worst part in a human being, let's say, journey. Ego is your enemy, so you should, let's say, put your legs on the field and start thinking on a humble way. Start, let's say, listening to people. If one of your team is asking about some, I don't know, maybe to increase their salaries or having another option or having something that is not going well, you should be able to listen to them and to not think uh, on a selfish way. You should think as like it's a family, it's a whole ship going together. And to succeed, everyone should be happy in that trip. You cannot just, I'm going to ignore you, you have a contract, it's 12 months. Yeah, it's a 12-month, for example, 12 months contract, the salary should be the same. But if that person is not happy developing, you cannot expect good results. So you should listen to them. If you're able to increase maybe the salary or to change some conditions, you'll be able, or you should do it. If not, you should talk to them and explain, okay, maybe after 12 months, if things are going well, we're going to do this and that. Believe me, this is happening, that's happening. So the active listening, the empathy, are also some of the outcomes or the lessons that I got through this journey.
So empathy and active listening as well. That's really good qualities that people need all in every area of their life. So especially in their professional and their personal. So really nice. So I guess like, what's your vision for Cure Bionics? Where do you want to take the
Okay.
company in the next
Okay.
5 years, however
Okay.
long it be?
So the thing is that we want to be the most recommended and loved prosthetic or bionic brand. What I mean about this is we are eager, or we are able to develop, and we have some amazing R&D things that are happening that are a bit, let's say, confidential, but we have amazing technologies, other amazing technologies happening, exoskeletons and everything. So without details, but even for the smallest or the most basic products, we want it to be loved by their users. I don't want just to shot a good video with the user smiling because I said you have to act this and like this and that. I want really to be happy. Let's say it's like the food review. You go to a restaurant, you take some food, and you give your reviews. I want people to be honest and to love the product and to connect with it. I also want it to be recommended as a product. When you go to a doctor or to a hospital, I want us to be one of the options that are included with the biggest brands. You can get, for example, when you're gonna buy a car, for example, they can offer you the Mercedes or whatever, the Jaguar, but they can also offer some, let's say, less expensive things, but they exist because there are people that can afford that thing. I want it, even for the smallest product, I want to be there. Maybe tomorrow with more advanced products, we also want to be mentioned. So the idea is not just about being very optimistic, very, let's say, dreamy and everything. It's just about being, let's say, the solution that people want to have, and the solution that people are really, let's say, confident to recommend. When you go to a doctor and say, yeah, this option is safe, you can take them, they're very good brand, they're doing their technology, it's made with love, it's really reliable, it's really, they will answer your request, they will repair your prosthetic in 24 or 48 hours, because the biggest brands, for example, in Tunisia, and I guess in most of the countries, they take months sometimes. For example, when a big brand prosthetic in Tunisia is broken, they will ship it to Germany or to the US or to another country. And imagine someone waiting for their hand for 2 or 3 months, like their life is stopping. But if you work on the smallest details and to be recommended, maybe that big brand is bigger, they're older, they're more known, but you are offering more and better services to be more to give more empathy, also to feel people. You say, yeah, I'm gonna commit to fix your prosthetic in 48 hours, in a week, maybe 2 weeks, still reasonable, and we work on that. Maybe you can get free replacement of the socket part. Maybe you can pay like a subscription instead of buying the whole device in the first time. So we want to be recommended, not just as a forcing the marketing and doing a lot of ads and doing a lot of partners. Want to be felt as a good and reliable brand, and to be loved by our users, and to have ambassadors instead of users, people who are like fighting for like the Apple people, like the Apple product people, like even if something is bad, they're still like let's say loyal and fighting for the brand, because Apple built or let's say a good image, a good product, and made people let's say connect with their product. So yeah, that's kind of what we want to do on the, let's say, on the emotional or the reputation part. But as a brand, we want to be scaling to the whole continent. I'm talking about Africa, the Middle East, Europe also, because we are as we are trying to fit with European requirements of quality. We said, why not competing also with the biggest brand? Like all of them started small, and now they're like the big corporates, but everyone started small. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, I love that. And you've been on an amazing, incredible journey so far. So if you can go back and speak to your younger self, your former self, just before you started Cure Bionics and started out on this adventure, what would be the one piece of advice you'd give to your younger self?
Okay, so this advice is very realistic. It's not just something I want to say to look like. I'm not gonna give an advice to look like a good advisor here, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna give an advice for people to know, if you don't have enough resources, and you did like, and you're not in a very good infrastructure for R&D and industrial like tissue and everything, you should start with more software product or part of your product, and then start building small like steps. You cannot just start directly. For example, for what we did, if I can go back with the time, I will, for example, start with software part that make the prosthetic better, or software part to analyze maybe the signals from the muscle sensors and everything. Because what we built was electronics, coding, mechanical, 3D design, 3D scanning, marketing, quality compliance, supply chain. It was like a huge, let's say, load of work and development with a small team without experience. So it was too much time. Let's say too much time was wasted, a lot of disappointments and failures. Now we're good, I believe, with all the humble, let's say, way of saying that. But I guess people should uh, let's say, especially the youngest entrepreneur, because I guess the senior entrepreneurs are more are wiser. They're wise. They had professional experience. Maybe they worked on that field in other big corporates. They know how things are happening inside. But for younger entrepreneurs, don't be fooled by this entrepreneurship wave and trends. And yeah, I want to be my own boss. I want to develop my own product. I can do it. It's working at the university. If you don't have enough resources, enough co-founders, and enough team, also the co-founder part. When I restarted the challenge or the journey myself without co-founders, it was a pain. Sorry about the word, pain in the ass, for real. Everything was on me. I couldn't say I give up. I couldn't say I want to have some rest, because everyone was relying on me. I was doing a lot of, let's say, a lot of jobs as a CEO. It's not just being a CEO. I was like a supplier manager, doing the HR, let's say, hiring people, doing some CTO part, sometimes even dealing with the cleaning women at the office, because there is no one taking care of that. So if you don't have enough resources on the human level, financial level, and the R&D level, start small and try after that to get maybe some traction, to get some positive response about your product, then get some funding, then develop yourself step by step. But if you go directly to the most complete and final, let's say, vision of what you're developing, you'll maybe face a lot of issues, especially when not well positioned in a good country. So yeah.
No, that was excellent advice. Start small and can iterate, learn, and go again. Yeah, I hear you on the wearing the multiple hats as a founder as well. So no, thank you so much for your time and telling your story, Mohammed. It's been incredible. You guys are doing some amazing stuff, and we will be sure to keep an eye on all your progress and all your exciting adventure that you're on. So for anyone listening, watching, where can they find you online to follow Cure Bionics and your journey and
Yeah,
continue?
actually, we are like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. So yeah, it's easy to find us. Just try to Cure Bionics or write my name, and we will be there for you.
Amazing. Yeah, so I will link all of these in the description. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and please tell a friend to tell a friend. Please like.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the time and for this, let's say, opportunity maybe to talk about some of the humble experiences and lessons we learned in this journey. And yeah, Best of luck for you too.
If you want to learn more about social shifters and how we can help you to impact the social or environmental issues that matter to you most, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find us on Instagram and Spotify.